I've just been told that this tiny sapling will one day grow into a tree over 50 feet tall. When that happens, it will have the effect of 5 air conditioners, cleaning, cooling and regulating the air in its vicinity. Big things come from small packages. Here's what we have for you this week. How raising a stink got rid of another, a chop of the old block, does plastic make perfect, and a cruel game of hide and seek. I'm trying to discover whether I have a green thumb. Gardening is not too difficult really. To begin with, you need a pot, porous soil, water and some seeds or a sapling. A fertilizer like bone meal also helps. Speaking of which, Paramanshu Mukherjee is just back from Hapur, where over 70 bone factories have been raising a stink for over a decade. He's happy to say that the town's people finally have factory owners on the run. For 7 years, the doors and windows in every house in Rampur had remained closed. The residents of this village can tell you why.
इससे इतनी दुर्गंध गैस निकलती है कि सांस लेना ही दुर्लभ हो जाता है और सांस दमे की बीमारी बनती है। उस पानी से जिस खेत में चला जाए वही फसल सब सूख जाती है और इससे इतने कीड़े मकोड़े होते हैं कि सड़क पर निकलना ही मुश्किल हो जाए।
Located within the municipal limits of Hapur in Uttar Pradesh are 70 bone mills, glue factories and tallowing units. These industries use carcasses and bones of animals to make bone powder and industrial adhesive. Sunrise is one such factory. As you approach the factory, you'll see rotting carcasses, piles of bones and poisoned water flowing onto the fields. The stench here is unbearable.
इतनी कचरे की मील हो गई है कि निकलना बढ़ना सब बंद। जो कोई भी मेहमान आया, रिश्तेदार आया, उसकी बदबू से निकल कर हमारे यहाँ आ नहीं सकता।
Polluted water is discharged from these factories without treatment, and agricultural fields have become barren. The stench and rotting carcasses are also a source of all kinds of diseases. Factory officials couldn't care less.
10 साल से यहाँ पे रह रहे हैं। 10 साल से आपने कभी सोचा नहीं है कि एफ्लुएंट ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट लगाएंगे?
नहीं, हमें ऑलरेडी यहाँ से एनओसी यहाँ से मिली हुई है म्युनिसिपल बोर्ड से।
पोल्यूशन हो रहा है, खुद 10 साल पहले भी पोल्यूशन हो रहा होगा।
Was there any provision for pollution control in the bone mills and allied industries in Hapur?
No, in fact, they were not having any sort of pollution control measures.
Then why wasn't any action taken?
No, they had no. It would be not fair to say like that. Actually, the process is this: first, we take a opportunity to industry. We convey the industry that this is the situation, you are polluting the things. So why should you not be closed down? Then the reply comes, and then board decides as to what action to be taken.
Is bureaucratic red tape the reason the industries are operational right now?
I should not comment on this.
In 1993, the district administration imposed Section 133. Public nuisance is covered under that section. 28 factories were closed down. Air pollution was cited as the cause, but industries promptly obtained a stay order. Since then, factory owners exploited legal loopholes with impunity, until one day, citizens decided to take matters into their own hands.
वर्ष 1993 में जब ये लोग हाई कोर्ट से स्टे ले आए और यहाँ के प्रशासन ने कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की, ये बनाई है वर्ष 1995 में।
Under public pressure, the authorities acted swiftly. A survey was carried out by the State Pollution Control Board, and 9 factories were issued closure notices under the Water Pollution Act of 1974. Soon all the factories were closed. But then, factory owners exploited another bureaucratic loophole. The ding-dong battle continued.
जब भी उस पर्टिकुलर फैक्ट्री को क्लोज कराने के लिए एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के लोग गए, तो उनके द्वारा ये बताया जाता रहा कि ये इंडस्ट्री का नाम ये नहीं ये है, वो इंडस्ट्री ऑलरेडी क्लोज है। एक बाउंड्री वाल है, बाउंड्री वाल भी कई जगहों से टूटी हुई हैं और छोटी छोटी कॉटेज इंडस्ट्री टाइप में कड़ाहों में वो काम करते हैं। तो कोई एक पर्टिकुलर प्रिमिसेस नहीं है कि ये बता दिया जाए कि ये इस पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री का प्रिमिसेस ये है।
Disgusted and angered, the town citizens held meetings, protests and rallies. This led to Section 144 being implemented by the administration. This section relates to threats to law and order. No trucks carrying raw materials for these factories were to be allowed to enter Hapur. But even this wasn't effective.
This is one such tallowing factory which is about 2.5 kilometers from the nearest village of Rampur. Even after Section 144 was implemented on June 30th this year, ordering the closure of all such units, this one continues to be operational. As you can see, the carcasses are being boiled and the wind is carrying the stench, which is quite unbearable, towards the west to the villages.
The residents had to finally resort to a demonstration outside the district administration office. In the meeting that followed, the assistant district magistrate promised them that from that day onwards, there would be no factories in the area.
I have assured them that henceforth we shall take more measures, we shall be more vigilant about it.
Are we assured that the bone mills and allied industries that are the cause of pollution will not exist in Hapur anymore?
Yeah.
There is a lesson to be learned from the example of Hapur. No laws, no amount of action will help to fight the war against pollution unless citizens like Jayaprakash Tyagi decide that they have had enough. Constant vigilance has helped citizens win a seesaw battle. If only citizens groups could mobilize against pollution and environmental degradation, the Hapur experience can be replicated in who knows how many areas. Collective action forced the government to take remedial measures. It remains to be seen whether other towns with similar problems will be able to open their windows to clean, fresh air. Let's take a break. We love it, we hate it, we love it, we hate it, we love it, we hate it, we love it, we hate it. Let's face it, we humans are confused when it comes to plastic, particularly in India where plastic recycling still has a long way to go. In our attitude section, Roshni Jayakrishnan hits the street to find out what exactly it is that makes plastic tick.
Think about it. From the moment we wake up to the time that we go to sleep, we're using plastic products all the time, from that toothbrush to that soap tray to that comb, the list just goes on. Plastic is inextricably a part of our lives. It's impossible to imagine a life without plastic. But you know what they say, too much of anything can be bad.
What do you use plastics for?
In kitchens, bathrooms.
In the hospital? All the time we are carrying plastic bags whenever we are shopping.
I even used to get in plastic bottles or plastic packs.
बच्चों की टेबल चेयर है जैसे बाल्टी है मंगा है जार है.
Even the toys and all are made of plastic only.
I hardly use plastic. Or we have containers in plastic. I don't use plastic. Plastic containers, they are very good. I don't use plastic.
For dustbins, just everything except clothes, of course.
Everything in today's life is like plastic.
We need it daily. They don't tear easily. They're reusable, you know.
Get plastic bags, then you don't have to carry your own bags. The alternatives would be limited.
You don't carry a thela and go to market.
Yeah, we have to use because there's no other alternative next to us. Plastic is non-biodegradable, which means if it is left undisturbed, it could take many, many centuries to disintegrate. Until then, it remains on this earth, clogging it up. आपको पता है वो environment के लिए खराब है?
हाँ खराब तो होते ही हैं।
क्यों होते हैं खराब?
ये क्या कहते हैं ये क्यों होते हैं बताओ तो।
I know it is dangerous, but I can't explain it to you. There is some scientific problem of there.
हाँ थोड़ा मेल्ट होके स्मेल छोड़ता है तो वो that is harmful for us.
We can't recycle it easily.
By its weight and volume, it could be clogging some drains and also because it cannot be destroyed easily.
I mean, it stays on for years and years.
When it's destroyed, it causes a lot of pollution to the environment by emitting, as we now know, dioxins and furans.
Plastic is a non-biodegradable substance.
How do you dispose it off?
We just throw it off. We usually throw it or burn it. Did you burn it? Yeah, we burn it also. You know that they're very toxic chemicals. But what to do? We don't have any other solution. A lot of you have been writing in about plastic wastes. Well, there are 3 R's: reduce, recycle, reuse. Ideally, you should reduce the creation of plastic wastes. Here's an organization that does rather interesting things with plastic wastes. Maybe you'll get some ideas from here.
The indiscriminate usage should certainly be curtailed.
Well, at home I've been recycling all kinds of things. Plastic is not very well recycled in our country because I've just come back from England. We've been living there. Prefer not to use this plastic bags. Instead, use some jute bags and some cloth bags.
How do you cover your own hide while skinning others? Quite easily if you're a dealer in the skins of endangered animals. Nandini Rajbare was shocked to find that you can easily access leopard skins in the capital and that many South Delhi boutiques actually deliver the goods, so to speak, to your doorstep. This time when they made their delivery, there was a nasty surprise waiting for them.
Under the Wildlife Protection Act, it is illegal for any person to buy or possess wildlife products. At least that's what the law book says. But if you're an interested buyer and willing to spend big money, all you have to do is what I did. I got Neil, a New Zealander, to pose as an interested buyer and accompanied him myself to several Delhi shops. We started our shopping spree with a hidden camera in Palika Bazaar in Delhi.
Sir, look, please come. Okay. कौन सा स्किन? लेपर्ड का। लेपर्ड होता है टाइगर नहीं लेपर्ड है हमारे पास वो अलाउड ही नहीं है सेल ही अलाउड नहीं है उस चीज की
This is I think this is sheep yes
इसकी गारंटी होगी फर की कैमल लेदर फील करके कैमल है This is camel.
Most of the shops here either didn't have what we were asking for or didn't understand what we really wanted. What we did chance upon was a fox skin. Foxes are protected under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Our next stop was Yashwant Place, a hothouse of wildcat coats in its time. This time, we came straight to the point.
नहीं इनको लेपर्ड का चाहिए लेपर्ड मतलब चीता नहीं
पक्का तो सुनो मैं इनके पैसे मारा
बन जाएगा कहते हैं उनको टाइम नहीं है ज्यादा
कब जा रहे हैं
मंडे यू नीड मंडे
okay Monday
से जा रहे हैं
I need to get it by Friday just wait I will talk my boss thank you
ऊपर मिलेगा
ले गरम करा
जेन्युइन होगा ना
हाँ जेन्युइन क्या करेंगे
We followed the man to the other shop, where the shopkeeper denied having anything at first.
हाँ वो हमको मालूम है पर वो बहुत डेस्परेटली चाहिए उनको इसलिए हम यहाँ पे लेके आए हैं।
इनसे पहले पूछ लो कि ये बायदा कुछ हो जाए तो हमारा नाम नहीं आना चाहिए बीच में। आपके साथ ही रहते हैं?
हाँ हाँ।
तो उधर ही घर पे आएंगे दिखाने के लिए, देख लीजिए वहीं
और अगर अच्छा पसंद आए
पेमेंट
तो हाँ? अभी नहीं दिखा सकते हैं आप क्या?
नहीं यहाँ नहीं
ये बिल्कुल अगर
ये
मैं बोलूं
बैंड है।
अगर कोई भी देखेगा उम्र भर के इंसान
जेल हो जाएगी।
जेल हो जाएगा।
तो आप यहाँ रखते हैं।
अपना एड्रेस दीजिए।
The shopkeeper had taken the bait. All we had to do now was set up a rendezvous point. So far so good, except that I had been taken unaware when asked for my address. I cooked up a fictitious one, and that's where the contact was to be made. I had to remedy the situation. We're now going to call up the man who said he'll deliver a leopard skin to our house and give him a change of address because we want to set him up in a hotel room. Neil is going to speak with him first.
Hello, Ashik. Yeah, hi, it's Chris here. I spoke to you yesterday about a leopard skin. Okay, I'm going to move to a hotel tomorrow. Okay, now, do you want me to go and see you, or do you want to come to my hotel tomorrow?
अच्छा आपने पता कराया क्या?
वो मैं कल वो तैयार हो जाएगा।
अच्छा हो जाएगा। क्या है हम ये होटल मूव कर रहे हैं तो हम आपको फोन करके कब बताएं? मतलब शाम तक बता दें?
कल आप बता देना।
कल ही बता दें।
कल दोपहर को फोन कर लेना।
We then arranged for police protection. Neil was to call the police on his cellular phone under the pretext of inviting someone over for dinner, once the coats, so to speak, were out of the bag. The hidden camera was set up in room 211. To verify the authenticity of the skins, I had an official of the Wildlife Protection Society of India present, posing as a steel trader. Neil made his call on cue as the second coat came out, and the police walked in within minutes.
कहाँ से लिया?
ये एक्शन में पुराना है, ये बिल्कुल मुझे पता नहीं। मैं उसमें परमानेंट इसमें मुझे कोई पता नहीं है।
How much will you demand it?
35,000.
35,000 for this piece?
Yes.
This is cat skin.
Okay. So you say it was only 12.
How much you were charging for this skin?
12,000.
10,000.
आप मुझे एक मिनट आप मुझे बोला करना क्या है मुझे बस ये
करना तुमने ऑफेंस किया इसके बारे में जो भी कानून से तुम्हें सजा होगी मिलेगी।
और बड़े भाई की नाते छोटे भाई को ऐसे
नहीं कानून में कोई बड़ा छोटा कोई
This coat is made with parts of at least 30 leopard cat skins. The leopard cat is protected under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act. No person shall carry on business as a manufacturer or dealer in scheduled animal articles. The offence is punishable by law with jail. This coat is said to be made from the skin of 19 cats protected under the Wildlife Protection Act. Experts are still unsure about the origin of the animal used in this. Time to cover the Chief Wildlife Warden, who will now officially become a part of the police investigation. The strangest thing is that the wildlife authorities claimed that the skins were of domestic cats, even though experts had testified, though not on camera to prevent controversy, that the skins were genuine. Did your inspectors check the coats that were seized that evening?
Yeah, they have checked.
Yes. What were the results? What did they say?
It's not a genuine one. They are not covered under the Wildlife Protection Act.
Now, if it is genuine material, Mr. Goel, does that mean that we need to question the officers that are going out on these raids?
No. Nobody can. There are so many things coming to Delhi. I mean, all the staff cannot be trained in all the things.
Scientists from the National Museum of Natural History have verified that one of the coats recovered is of the leopard, the other two is a protected animal. The case is in court. It pays to remember the trader we helped arrest is only the lowest link in the poaching ladder. The racket is a huge one and involves a network of poachers, middlemen and so-called kingpin. One thing is certain, that the skins of endangered cats are readily available in Delhi. even though the chief wildlife warden's officials deny the authenticity of the seized material. How many more skins will his officials need to study before they can tell the difference between a genuine and a fake? Or could they not care less?
That was pretty dramatic, but sadly what you saw is only the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Anu from Kannur writes, I'm a regular viewer of your great show. I feel that I have not done anything to keep this race to save the planet going. I'd like to know what to do and how to do my small bit as a member of this planet. Well, you could take a cue from our attitude section each week, which center stages everyday people and talks to them about issues that concern us all. Our address for viewer ideas and suggestions is Living on the Edge, Star TV, Post Box number 9, New Delhi 110065, India. Potted plants are a great way of bringing a bit of the big green outdoors into your home. Do you know that for millions of years the earth was nothing but a huge patch of moist rainforest? Priya Somaya dropped into the Sinharaja forest in Sri Lanka to show you what an incredible treasure chest rainforests are.
It dates back to the time of the dinosaurs, when a killing drought finally came to an end, and the planet enjoyed a warm, moist climate. Gigantic conifers, mammoth trees, and ferns covered most of the land. The rainforests of today evolved from that maze. Running like a girdle around the equator, tropical forests cover some 900 million hectares and are a habitat for at least 50% of all plant and animal species. As many as 5 million species provide a gene pool for plants and animals. All over the world, rainforests are being lost at a fantastic rate. In 1950, 30% of the Earth's landmass was covered with tropical forests. By 1975, this figure was only 12%. In 1988, only 6% was left. Of this, South America has 58%, Africa 19%, and Oceania 10%. And Asia is home to 10% of what's left of the world's rainforests. Many decades ago, the island nation of Sri Lanka had abundant forest cover, but lost it to deforestation. But recent conservation measures have been successful in halting destruction, at least in the island nation. Situated in the southwestern part of Sri Lanka, the Sinharaja forest, extending over 9,000 hectares, is a relatively undisturbed rainforest that is being zealously protected.
The Sinharaja forest is said to have belonged to the ancient kings of Sri Lanka. Its local name, Sinharaja Adaviya, means home of the Lion King.
Lions are believed to have once roamed this terrain, but they are locally extinct now. At first glance, the forest looks like a mass of green, dark and mysterious. Thousands of species of trees, climbers and ferns coexist in complex symbiotic and parasitic relationships.
ශාක කියන්නේ මේ සමග කිට්ටෝ තියෙනවා. මුගක් වෙලාවට අවුරුදු 400කට වඩා මෙහා ශාක තමයි හමු වෙන්නේ. නමුත් ඒවයින් ශාක පහත්ම කුලවල ශාක හමු වෙනවා. කියන්නේ මීවන ශාක වගේ එහෙම නැත්නම් ඊටත් වඩා ලයිකන්ස් වගේ ඒ වගේ ශාක හමු වෙනවා. ඒවා ඇත්තෙන්ම සංරක්ෂණය කරන්න මෙතනින් පිටට ගෙන ක්‍රමයක් නැහැ ඇත්තටම. මොකද තියෙන පරිසර තත්ත්වයන් නිසා. ඒ නිසා තමයි මේක තුලම සංරක්ෂණය වගේ දේවල් කරන්නේ.
It is from rainforests such as these that vital medicines and food crop species have been discovered. This is something tribals living within the forest know only too well. Their entire livelihood depends on these forests. This tribal earns an average of $50 a month by tapping the kittul palm and making jaggery of it. Palms are used to make baskets, and spices are found growing casually in the undergrowth. Tribal knowledge here dates back several generations, and rare plants are used to treat a variety of ailments from fever to tetanus. But the pressure of population dependent on the forest could endanger them. Sinharaja is surrounded by 22 villages with a combined population of 5,000 people. Already, signs of destruction are evident. Forests have been cleared for agricultural fields and tea gardens.
There is little bit clearing for cultivating tea. The rainforest is the most important forest type of the world, and Sinharaja is one of those piece of forest. And this is not only our heritage, now it is named as World Heritage. So we have to protect it.
Conserving these forests is imperative because they act as climate and water table regulators, not just for surrounding areas but for the entire island country. Recognized as a World Heritage Site, one can only hope that the Sinharaja forest will remain safe from human depredation.